Lewis, what's the one thing the fans need to be watching for tonight?
Yeah, I'm just going to build right off of what Adam is talking about, and that is the absence of Zach Martin. So I'm watching to see if the Cowboys can really fortify the interior of their offensive line against what is going to be an all-out assault by defensive coordinator Todd Bowles in the A and B gaps with Ndamukong Suh, with Vita Vea, with JPP moving down inside and maybe rushing as a three technique, with their first-round draft pick, Joe Tryon, standing up and moving around as a joker, as a pass rusher that they can just deploy all up and down the line of scrimmage and just coming right down the barrel at Dak Prescott time and time again and seeing if he can really move and seeing if he can protect himself as they try and flush him out of the pocket. If they don't have an answer for that and they can't run the football, then it's going to be a long night for Dallas, and I'm afraid it's going to be anyway.
Bart, what's your thought here?
Listen, to quote old school, that was perfect. That's exactly how defensive players are licking their chops. They're going to go through these A and B gaps to see if Dak has any confidence in getting to the perimeters and running. And then when you get there, hey, Ndamukong Suh, see if he wants to give you a piggyback ride. Let's see if that thing is all held up. And it's going to be important to see if Dak has the confidence, because I think it's going to have to be on Dak's arm. As soon as Zach Martin was ruled out, it became a Dak game and not an Ezekiel Elliott game, because they understand that they can't win that fight.
And so let me turn to my offensive lineman here, Damian Woody, and get your thought on this. What do you think the Cowboys should be planning on going into this game?
Well, I think it's going to be imperative for the Cowboys to run the football to stay ahead of the chains, because the last thing you want to do against a Todd Bowles-led defense is get behind where he can dial up all of those exotic blitzes. So that's why this whole Zach Martin issue is so big for the Dallas Cowboys, because if you're not fortified in the middle, if you're not able to run the ball with Ezekiel Elliott, good luck trying to pick up those Todd Bowles defense.
And that's the whole thing. As much as we talk about Tom Brady and Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and Antonio Brown, all the weapons on Tampa, the defense is really good under Todd Bowles, really good. And they added in the first round this year, Joe Tryon.
Yeah.
Who was one of the sensations at camp. So a defense that already was good should be even better against the Cowboys offensive line. That certainly looks like it will be without Zach.
Tryon's an outside pass rusher from Washington who sat out last year because of COVID. Otherwise might have been an even higher pick in the first round. He's 44. Anything about him physically that looks lesser than the guy that you remember playing with 20 years ago?
Not at all. His arm actually looks stronger. It seems it's crazy. It seems like as the older he's been getting, his arm strength has been getting stronger. And when you look at the Tampa Bay offense, think about this. Last year in the truncated off season, no off-season program. Tom Brady comes over to Tampa after 20 years in New England. Leonard Fournette, Antonio Brown. All they do is go out there and win a Super Bowl. Think how hard that is for a team to do, to piece it all together and win a Super Bowl. Now you have all 11 starters back on offense with the whole offseason program. Man, that man about to light it up.
Yeah, well, let's talk about lighting it up. Lewis Riddick, I have Dan Orlovsky on this show yesterday telling me Brady is going to make a run at all of the passing records, all the records that Peyton Manning all the record that Brady had, that Manning broke his first year in Denver, that Tom's going to throw 50-something touchdowns and 5,000 and something yards. Do you see that in the books or in the future here for Brady this season?
Well, sure. I mean, I guess you could say that. I mean, if everything goes right for him and for the rest of the team as far as their availability and nobody misses any significant time, and Tom has absolutely no drop-off, which really brings me to my point, which is we're in uncharted territory with him. We just, in theory, it all looks perfect. It all looks like it's set up to have another one of those dream seasons where they eclipse what they did in 2020, which is quite honestly is amazing. But to say he's going to make a run at some of the single season passing records, whether it be yardage, touchdown passes, yards per attempt, whatever it may be, I think we're just we could all just throw that out there and make that kind of projection. But I think we're in such rare air with this guy because of the fact that he's 44 years old and the fact that he's coming back to a football team that everyone is familiar with one another. I mean, how many times do 22 starters come back off of a Super Bowl winning team? That is just so rare that I think right now it just makes us all giddy to start making all kinds of wild, projections, but maybe they come true. Who knows? That's what's going to be so cool about watching this team is that we really just don't know.
Well, we happen to have 3 former NFL players on the program today, but the man sitting to my immediate left is the only person ever to have caught both a touchdown and an interception from Tom Brady.
True. That is true.
And that is Adam Schefter. I've seen the video of both of those. So there's only one thing in his career Brady hasn't done. We know he has all the championships. He's going to break all the records. The one thing he didn't do was the perfect season, and we know that eats at him. He said during this offseason he would trade 2 rings to have gotten that perfect season. I've got a lot of people telling me the Buccaneers might make a run at that this year. Could that be in the cards?
I cannot fathom somebody in this day and age making a run at a perfect season. It is so hard to do. And it's even harder now that they've added on an extra regular season game. Tampa's not going unbeaten. Tom's going to have every record. He's not going to have the unbeaten season. If Asante Samuel had held on to the interception in the 4th quarter of that game, the play before Tyree came up with the helmet, they would have had the unbeaten season. They had their chance. That's not happening now. I don't think.
What makes it so even more difficult is they're coming off a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So every team they play they're going to bring their A game. That's why it's going to be so much more difficult.
Come on, Bart.
Well, I think it'll be a mistake. It'll be a mistake to even try and attempt to do it, right? He's a 44-year-old quarterback. I know he's Benjamin Button. And it's crazy because yesterday, as Albert Pujols is breaking all these records, I'm reminded that Tom Brady is 3 years older than Albert Pujols, and now Albert Pujols has the dad bod, and Tom Brady's still lean and mean. But I still promise you that, listen, they should run the football. Understand that it's a long season. You don't want to have him wearing that elbow out, that shoulder out, because they're playing for championships, not for those meaningless records.
So you guys are telling me the 17-0 season is impossible?
Who brought it up?
They got to beat
I
the
brought it
Saints.
up.
Oh, you brought it up.
I'm
Okay.
bringing it up.
Okay.
And I'll tell you what, if I had told you 10 years ago a 44-year-old quarterback was going to go into a season as a leading candidate for league MVP, you would all have laughed at me. Brady does a lot of things that we would have otherwise thought were impossible. So let's see what happens. In the meantime, 12 hours from game time, let's pick it. Who's going to win it tonight? Buccaneers and Cowboys. We don't waste any time here. Damian Woody, who wins tonight?
Bucks.
Big or little?
Big.
I think
Double
so, too.
digits.
Bart.
Hey, what did the 5 fingers say to the face? I'm going with the Bucks all the way. This is going to be a beat down.
What did the 5 fingers say to the face?
Smack! Cold-blooded.
Lewis, who you got?
Yeah, I'm going Bucks. I think it's Bucks by 10 or more points. They're just too strong up front, both on the defensive line and offensive line.
It's a clean sweep. Give the points. Tampa
You know
Bay
what that means, right?
wins it tonight. It means bet your house on the Cowboys.
That's right.
Absolutely. All right.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.